Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you were doing well. I'm doing well because today we are talking about music and today we are talking about my recent pickups over the last month and a half or so. Whenever the last time I did one of these videos, this is everything I've picked up since then. I've got a record, I got a tape, I got a stack of CDs. There's some more stuff on the way that I've received for birthday gifts that I do wanted to include in this video, but they're not here yet, so we're going to cover that at a later date. Some of them I think will get a dedicated review video. But let's get into what we do have here because we've got some good stuff. Let's start off with the vinyl. Let's start off with that. This is Wet Dreams by Richard Wright, the ex-keyboard player from Pink Floyd. This is specifically the 2023 Steven Wilson remaster on a really nice kind of watery blue vinyl. I've always thought this about kind of all the Pink Floyd solo works is that they definitely worked best as a band. I almost feel when they go solo, they're adding in a little too much of what it is that they brought to the band. So, for David Gilmour, I feel like he brought in a little too much of that sort of like mellow, sustained guitar work. Um, and so for Richard Wright here, I feel it's good. It's very atmospheric. It's very moody, but it's almost like yacht rocky. So this isn't yacht rock, but it almost feels like Pink Floyd does yacht rock. It's a great album. It's very relaxing. I really like the side two opener, Holiday. That's a really nice song. And it's really cool to get this as a 2023 Steven Wilson remix. Um, but yeah, it's really cool to kind of have that family tree. I've almost got sort of everything. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So there's that one. Let's go to the tape. Let's go to the tape now. This is the last album from Roxy Music. This is their album Avalon on tape on a super cassette there. This is, 19, when did this come out? 82, 81, 82. I was right. Sophistopop, art pop, very emblematic of that kind of new romantics era that would take on kind of a big role in the 80s in terms of pop music. You would have your bubblegum pop and things like that. And then you'd also have your sophistopop that would tie into new wave and a lot of those sort of elements. It's a very lovely album to listen to. I like it a lot. It's actually very complimentary to the Richard Wright album we just looked at. Love that one a lot. Now, these are some CDs I found while thrifting, except the last one. We'll get into that when we get into that. But I was happy to find all these for like $1 or $2 each. So first one, the Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. This is not the complete soundtrack, but this is kind of the film one you would find most often by Howard Shore. Great film. Um, Love it a lot. Like I think most of us are most familiar with probably the soundtrack from Fellowship of the Ring, because that's where a lot of the themes that play throughout the trilogy kind of originate. But these are all great soundtracks in their own right, and I'm sort of slowly building up my soundtrack collection. So I'm happy to have that one. So Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. To go with that, then we also have Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. There we go. Again, I don't know the last time I saw that. I've definitely seen Fellowship more, and then probably Do Towers, and then probably Return of the King would be the one of that trilogy I've seen the least amount of times. But really happy to have these. Obviously, I do need to get the Fellowship of the Ring to complete that trilogy on CD, but happy to have that. This next one, again, I think it was $1. Ones and Zeros by Immaculate Machine. This is their, I don't think this is their first album. I think this is their first album on Mint Records. I could be totally wrong on that. Immaculate Machine was a local band based out of Victoria, British Columbia. Kind of that indie rock in the early 2000s, if you know that vibe, that sound, that's sort of what they're going for. Elements of dance punk a little bit, but certainly what indie rock sounded like during that time period. That's what you get on here, but really fun local band to have on CD. I was also playing in bands at the time, and we played a few shows with this group. So we didn't sound like that. We were a terrible ska band, but we played with them. It was great. So happy to get this one again in my collection. This one, very happy to find Lee Perry and Friends, the Singles Collection Anthology, 1968 to 79. This is 2 discs. This is so 20 tracks on disc 2, 24, so 44 tracks of Lee Perry and Friends. So it's not just the Upsetters. It's not just Lee Perry as a solo artist. It's a lot of the stuff he produced with other people. You've got the Untouchables. You do have his solo work. You've got some of his work with Bob Marley and the Wailers. He's such a great producer, especially his early works when he was sort of producing for other acts and that early Upsetter stuff. Really happy to have this. This is a Trojan Records release. It's such a good album. I was really happy to find this one. The last one, again, really happy to find this. This is the debut album from REM, Murmur. Really happy to find this one. I'm slowly trying to get a complete REM CD set. Why? I like them well enough, sure, but they just seem to be one of those bands that I find almost all their discography while out thrifting. There's one I had to pick up from a record store. I think the second one, Reckoning after this one, and I haven't been able to find their last album. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but I haven't seen that in record stores or out while thrifting. But I would like to do a complete, deep dive into REM, a band. Sure, I know their hits, but not too much else. But I've given this a few listens, and it's a lot of fun. It's, what if the Smiths were American is kind of a not the most fair, but that's broadly how I would describe it so far. So happy to have that. And then this last one, I did buy at the record store. This is the debut album from Phoebe Bridgers, Stranger in the Alps. We all knew you could cry. Phoebe Bridgers knows this. They're here for us. They're here for us with this album. Beautiful song. Funeral. If you're just going to listen to one song, if you've never heard Phoebe Bridgers before, put on Funeral. You're going to cry. It's a lovely, lovely time. That's it. Those are my recent pickups over the last, month and a bit, 2 months. Great record, great tape, great stack of CDs, and pretty diverse collection of music too, which I'm pretty happy to have. Otherwise, I've been doing a lot of music listening lately, but it's all been digital for some projects and stuff and I've been involved with. That said, I want to know what your opinions are on this. I've got enough in here from different decades and genres that surely we have some opinions to share. So put those down in the comments and I will catch you next time.